YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. And what do we have for you here? It is a Land Rover Series 2, super detailed, amazing little RC car. And as you can see, RC truck in this case. We've got beautiful undercarriage, steering wheel. By the way, you can get this with the hard top or the truck style if you want. And just like normal, the hood pops and you've got the regular standard battery that you're used to seeing, which I believe is a 300 milliamp 2S. And lots of lights. We have this little button here, channel 4, turns the lights on and off. Running lamps, high beams, all of them. And then also with this mode, you get turn signals, front and back, which is super cool. And if you go to the top setting, I can't see if they're on or not from this angle. There we go. You also have that one you can turn on. And then you still get your turn signals, which is really nice. I love all the details in these FMS ready to run products. They're super nice. And then of course, don't forget squishy tires. Squishy tires for me make such a big difference. I mean, even look at this. We have 5 screws that hold this wheel on. That is so cool. And just super, super detailed. Doors open. The details are crazy. Look at the seat. Squish the seat. They're like soft. They're like soft. Seats. We have the gear selector. We have a high-low selector. We have a 5-speed transmission selector. I assume it's 5. And then even rubber Land Rover mud flaps. So cool. I don't think this one opens. Yes, it does. So like I said, these details are just second to none. But then they also drive. So let's go ahead and get those lights turned on to their fullest. And let's take a quick run right now without further ado. All right, guys. So I did like I always do when I turn my dual rates up. And so the dual rates are right here. You can turn this knob all the way up and you can barely move the wheel. And then as you increase the rate, you can see it changes the amount of maximum deflection. So I always turn that up. And then also there is, looks like a 4-wheel drive and then a high speed. So it looks like we're, a lot of distinction between forward and back. Okay, so now into the low gear versus high gear. We're gonna start climbing. You guys ready? Boy, somebody needs to do some grading right here and get this figured out. Camera crew's gonna run down so she can watch it on the way down. Oh yeah, we're gonna just track right down here. We cut the grass yesterday, so we'll see. This is a 1/12 scale, so we'll see if it does it. I'm in the low gear, so I'm gonna see what type of control authority we have. Definitely has 4-wheel drive here, guys. I'm gonna go to high speed. Ooh, have I already high centered this thing? It's like the second rock.
It's a big giant rock.
Hand of God, sorry. Okay, so we'll try this in the higher gear. We'll avoid that rock. But as you can see, with these 1/12 models, you do have to be a little bit careful. This grass is pretty short right now. And you can see you're gonna get held up. Hand of God, female style, would you please help me? Go down to the ditch a little further. There you go, that should work. Okay, now back into low gear.
It's the big weed clumps that are killing you.
Yeah, it really is. Bring it down. There you go, that's good,
Oh,
that's
sorry.
good.
Hold on.
Okay, there we go. So I'm in the low gear, and see, the thing is, guys, I think of these things as little rock crawlers. I gotta say, this is easier to control than the last one that we drove, which was a 1/10 scale, because it actually stays down nicely. And a lot of times these cars are so quick that they want to tip over. This thing actually has a nice slow speed to it, but it's not getting over those clumps very good. And I gotta say, I don't know if that's the car's problem. I don't really think it is. It's more of a symptom of our little area that we've generated down here. Let the weeds get a little too big. But I like the challenge of driving these things. I think it's super fun, but man, it is getting caught on like everything, guys. Yeah. So you know how we do this on Brian Phillips RC? We want to show you guys the way these products really work. So even our best wishes would be that all these products work great, but there are times when we get into it And we realized that they high center a lot easier than we thought they might. So you just have to make sure that you have your different scale areas to work with. So like this is gonna be a 1/12 scale. So you're obviously not gonna be jumping off of cliffs with it because it's just small. And we will give you a shot of driving in the grass here, just normal like city lot grass here in a minute.
Yeah.
I'm in low gear, about 50% throttle here. Oh man, it does really good on the hills though.
But if you have a dirt track or wherever you drive, it would be totally fine.
Well, and I also know, is there a middle? Oh, it puts it in neutral. That's so cool. When you're in middle, it's like actually neutral, guys. Watch this. There it is, neutral. That is hilarious. I had no idea. Okay, so let's see if we can get a little slippage for you here. There it is. So she'll burn rubber if you do it right. But you know, honestly, I think it's always kind of like when you get down to it with the scale details on these RCs, it's just amazing to me what we're getting. Even though you do high center once in a while, I mean, that's to be expected. If you're gonna be driving a small vehicle over shrubs, you're gonna get stuck like this rock right here. Look at this rock. I'm gonna see if I can crawl over it. Oh yeah, that is so sweet. I wish I had stuff like this when I was a kid. I would have eaten it up. I mean, I'm still a big kid. Let's see if we can get down this hill without tipping over. But guys, you're not gonna be driving in and out of the ditch, you know, if you've got tall grass. This is very short. I literally just cut it yesterday. And I try to cut it to about 3 inches, guys, if you're wondering. But I've beat the heck out of my zero turn so bad. Well, that's a cool car. Uh-oh. She popped out of gear, guys. Just like a real one. Okay, we're gonna do a little higher speed maneuvering here and just show you if it can even make it through some of the tall stuff. If you carry your speed, it seems to do a little bit better. Boy, it does like to get stuck. And just so you guys get a reference for how tall this grass is, it's not like really tall grass, although that is kind of a sinkhole. All right, let's put it up on the road and see how it does on the road. Oh shoot, I popped the hood.
Make it.
Would you, yeah, hand of God female style. Thank you. You gotta snap it in the middle. There you go.
There it goes.
So those hoods are nice when they just snap on. I kind of like them that way.
Yeah.
There's a few that we've had that have latches on the side, and it's like a cool idea, but it's a real pain in the butt to actually do in real life. Okay, you can stay right there. I'm gonna bring it right around.
Okay.
So the turning radius is kind of big on this thing too, I noticed. Even with my steering dual rates up, we're gonna go on this rocky, fire charred area. I don't know how that would have possibly happened. It's definitely not burned in melted foam, I promise you.
Definitely
From many,
not.
many RC airplanes, I promise. It's definitely not poor man's asphalt. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to light mode here real quick. So that's off. That's the first on. That's the second on with turn signals.
That's cool.
Okay, and then I'm gonna get off the road just in case this car comes down. Now I'm gonna do that same thing from the front. There's your full on with 4 ways. And boy, I gotta say, this thing looks the part. Folks,
Yeah.
FMS has done such a good job on these models.
I feel
And to be
like
honest,
this is,
you know, 1/12 is 1/12, you know?
right. This is like sit on your desk in your office, right?
Yeah, this is-
not like actually go drive around in your ditch.
Well, but I mean, you might do that. That's full speed though, guys. It's not gonna like break any world records on speed.
It looks so cool though.
I know. Looks like a very, 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 very small real vehicle. So guys, if you're interested in buying one of these for yourself and you want to help support Brian Phillips RC, all you have to do is check the video description below and you can see there's links to these things, and that does help the support by funding our channel with small commissions that come from these manufacturers when you decide to buy one. Now, if you don't like this particular one, we just real recently we did a 1/10 and it was a great option. But again, you get into those 1/10s, they're a lot more money. These are pretty economical choices. And so if you get one of these, for the features you're getting a ton of features in a reasonably priced car. You wanna see what it looks like when we crash down the hill?
Sure.
I'm gonna try to go slow. See if you can get a shot of it kind of pushing through the bush. People like they like to see when it like penetrates the bush.
I don't think you're gonna make it.
Look at this, I'm tearing it up.
No, you're stuck in the bush.
Female hand of God. You wanna try going down the river this time? Here, I'll just, whoa, careful camera crew. What have you done? We're gonna go over here to the river. We'll see if we can actually get it down the river. I don't think it's probably gonna do great except over here maybe. I just think you don't do these cars justice if you just drive them on the pavement, but they still look pretty sweet, I gotta say. I just imagine this being like the Savannah. Is that a thing, Savannah? I tried doing that on the last video. What am I trying to say?
Savannah, that would make
Sahara.
sense. No,
Sahara Desert.
That's the desert. There's no grass there.
Oh yeah, there'd still be drift stuff, wouldn't there?
Oh, a little bit.
If you live in the desert, let us know in the comments below how badly we brutalized that terminology. Let's go into the riverbed here. But guys, these things are really a blast to play with, and it doesn't take near as much skill as driving or flying an airplane rather. And yet you can still have a really, really good time. And if you get it for your kids and stuff like that, you know, if you get one of these really detailed cars, you don't have to worry about them totally destroying them overnight. Now, if you get a 1/10, they're the ones that have the mirrors and stuff that like to break off. These little mirrors, you're not gonna miss them when they break off.
No.
But we have 4 kids and the kids love playing with these little guys. When they have good lighting, it makes a big difference on the playability, I gotta say. All right, I'm gonna go into low gear. I wanna see if I can make it up this hill. Well, I know, I'm tempted to have you point the camera at the plane, but we're not gonna do it. We're gonna pretend like we're filming a car.
He's a ways up there.
He's a ways up there. Manned aircraft, we have to always check for manned aircraft, even if we're not flying.
Ooh,
oh yeah, I don't think it's gonna make it. You guys think I can make it? Leave it in the comments below. Timestamp it so you don't cheat. Uh-oh, oh, it's digging in, it's digging in, dang it. All right, so let's see if we can back this thing up. There it is. Let's back up and not high center. Don't high center, Brian. Good job. That 4-wheel drive low is really good on this one. It's not always as impressive as this one. I love that there's a neutral setting in the middle too. All right, I've had enough of it.
If it wasn't for the big weed chunks.
Well, I know, but it is, I mean, part of the reason we do this, guys, it's not to beat up on one particular product. This is a 1/12 scale model, for God's sake. You know, you're only gonna get so big with a 1/12 scale model. I mean, look at this giant, like 200-foot long Sequoia that's in the middle. Let's see if we can go over the Sequoia. Oh yeah,
they don't have those in the Savannah or the desert or
in the Savannah or the desert, whatever wrong terminology I used.
Yeah.
But real quick, just on the bottom, the reason we show these things high centering is because they do high center. And that is something you want to keep in mind. There's a little bit of a skid plate to protect the motor and transmission and stuff here, which is pretty sweet. And let's see if we can give you a shot of the transmission activating. See that? You see the servo right here actuates that linkage that goes into the actual transmission. So there's neutral. Now when we're in drive, you can't spin them. There you go. That is so cool. I wish I had this stuff when I was a kid. It's so much fun. Okay, our next clip is gonna be in the grass so you can see how it does in more standard like city grass, let's call it. So it'll be up by the house. All right, so we're gonna put it in, you know, more of like sod grass as opposed to country grass where we've got fescue and really big weedy type grasses. So again, this is cut to like 3 inches. It's still pretty rough because we've had such a dry season. And it's getting around okay. It's not doing too bad. And honestly, if I was buying a car like this, I would want to know if it's going to make it in the front yard, okay?
Yeah.
Because if you can't even drive an off-road car in your front yard, that's kind of lame. So this is doing fine. Over here is a really nasty spot. Let's see if we can make it through. I doubt we can. Oh, we're making it through. Yes! So guys, if you've never experienced driving one of these little FMS creations, they are so much fun. And I love that you can change the lights remotely. I love that you get the steering You know, you've got your turn signals. I think it's so much fun. And these things are so detailed, and I am such a scale sucker. If it's scale, I love it. And it's funny because it could be a car, it can be a truck, it can be a boat, it can be a helicopter, it can be an airplane, obviously. And I just love them. And the rear, the reverse is slow, which is super cool. And I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but look at the steering wheel. The steering wheel is moving. So if you were to put a figurine in there, then your figurine, if you attach their hands to the wheel, then you would actually see your figurine's arms flipping and moving. So guys, that's pretty much all we've got on this thing. This is the Land Rover Series 2 by FMS. What a great little offering. And I'm sure our kids are gonna enjoy this in a few minutes when we set them free to play with it. But if you guys wanna help support us in what we do here on Brian Phillips RC, obviously the Surface Wednesdays and other surface vehicles we do like e-bikes are kind of like a sideline for us compared to our main events, which is usually aircraft. But I have loved RC my entire life. And probably the first real RC I got was an RC10, okay? Which was just amazing. And back many, many years ago, that was the cat's meow, okay? Seriously, it was electric. I didn't have every feature, but I had it going like 30 something miles an hour. And back then that was a big deal. Now 30 miles an hour, shoot, most of these things will almost do 30. This thing's not gonna do 30. But I love the crawlers. I love the detail. I love the fact that they run on a battery that you can use between a bunch of other cars, which is really nice. You're not gonna break the bank on the charger and stuff because everything comes in the box that you need except for the batteries for this, which is 4 AAAs. They just go into the pistol handle. Very easy to install. Just remind your kids to shut it off so they don't kill the batteries between filming. Just saying. Not that that happened in our life. But what a sweet looking car, guys. Can it get any better than that? And the only thing I would say to that is bigger is usually better with cars, but sometimes you want something small that you can put in your cabinet and display at the office and break this thing out and just screw around with it when you're having a stressful day and you need a break. So if this meets your fancy, check out the links in the video description below. Or if you're curious about a particular vehicle that you've seen or heard about and you want to find it, just head over to Brian Phillips RC. And from that website, you can see links that are sorted by type, by manufacturer, and also when you look through, all the thumbnails have pictures of the product that we're reviewing. So then you'll be directed back to YouTube so you can watch the video before you make any decisions. And by the way, if you ever are following our links, the way it works is they track that you came there from us. And that way we get commissions when we sell these products, okay? So we've always been upfront about this. It's never been ambiguous, and we don't like it that some people are. We never mean to trick you guys. That is what we do. But I honestly don't care if you like this one versus another one. We just want you to be driving, flying, you know, doing all the fun things that we can do with RC and just enjoying it with us and not just watching us, because just watching is fun to a certain extent, but actually doing it and living it is so much more fulfilling. And we hope that you guys will take our real advice and get some of these things, whether it's this or an FMS F18 or an F7F or whatever helicopter, plane, boat, whatever creation it is you're after. We want to help support you in your efforts to stretch your RC budget. And that's why we have coupon codes at Brian Phillips RC. So when you're buying, check there first, follow the links. You'll give us a small pat on the back when you do that. And these guys will know that we're reaching an audience that wants to buy stuff like this. So, which we know you do because I do. So anyway, that's all we got for you tonight, guys. We hope we answered all your questions. What an absolute beauty. One last shot, a spinning view of this awesome, gorgeous thing. Let's open the door and let them see in the driver's side real quick. And as always, if you have questions, leave them in the comments below. We'll try to get back to you. We have access a little easier on comments through Patreon, just so you know. That's a monthly support mechanism. If you want to support us on a monthly basis, we also have YouTube membership. We have super thanks for one-time donations as well as PayPal. But remember, we're friends and family who likes to give PayPal money. And by the way, if you want to send your special thanks to Google for being such a big part of your life, and trying to manipulate all of your activities, then make sure the best thing you can do is click the links, because they hate it when you do it. And that's your special way of saying thanks to Google. But anyway, we'll also profit from it, and so it's a win-win for everybody. Thanks for watching, guys. So much more coming from Brian Phillips RC.